Hi, I'm Gina Pittenger. I'm a dentist. 5 years ago, I had an accident and fell into a hole in my backyard and messed my back up severely. It was horrible. I was in pain and I didn't know what to do, and went to a chiropractor. That was no good. That didn't work at all. He didn't even take an x-ray, and he just adjusted me, and the problem got worse and worse. And I didn't know what to do. I kept going to private care physicians, and finally I thought, I'm going to just start researching the back surgery because I'm thinking this is something I need to do. But I was afraid. I thought, if I get back surgery, I'm going to be one of these people that's going to be paralyzed in a wheelchair. So I waited like a year, then 2 years. The pain got worse and worse. And then I had another injury where I fell again and injured the back to where it was almost like every night I laid in the bed, I tossed and turned trying to find a way that I could get comfortable to sleep. I took pain medicine. I thought I was going to be addicted to pain medicine. Couldn't be that way as a dentist. I thought, what am I going to do? And then finally went to another doctor, and he said, I know somebody that might be able to help you. His name's Dr. McCord. I researched everything. I went online and I researched because I wanted to make sure that the surgeon that was going to do my work was completely qualified, because I've heard horror stories. I've heard them all, and I've seen people that have had, and actually know people that have had surgeries. They didn't follow the instructions of the surgeon. They had bad results, and some of them had to have surgeries again, and some of them had surgeries again that still didn't work because they didn't follow the instructions. But when I first came to Dr. McCord, I was nervous, and I was wondering, how it was all going to come out, what his personality type was going to be like, and what the environment was going to be as a professional. I kind of, know what a patient is expecting from their provider, and that they want to know, they want to be talked to like a human being. They don't want to be a number. They want to feel like they're cared about and they're important, and that they're not just, okay, you're just a number for me for insurance purposes and all this. It wasn't like that. When I came here, he was warm and friendly. His staff was just so caring and sweet. He took so much time explaining the x-rays to me and my husband, and stayed with us until he felt like we understood exactly what he was going to do. There was no questions in my mind when I left that this was going to come out okay. This was going to be great. Went home and discussed it with my husband, and we decided to do it. And I'll tell you, it was the best decision of my life. I have had the best experience. Everybody tells me that, but it is true. I've had the best experience of any person that I know of that's had a back surgery. I have been able to do everything I was able to do as a young person or a child, maybe even more, because I didn't push the limits when I was little. And now I do, because I'm 51 and I'm not getting any younger. My kids are getting ready to graduate, go off to school, into college, and my husband and I are looking for activities. And I thought, what am I going to do? I don't want to be a sad empty nester. So I started running, and I ran my first half marathon in Savannah last year. And for a 51-year-old first-timer, I ran it in 3 hours and 19 seconds, which was pretty okay for a first-timer. I was very proud of myself, and my back was perfect. It never hurt. It's never hurt. Okay, let me get a few things cleared up about surgery. For me, I was terrified. I thought, I'm going to be paralyzed, but I said, what kind of quality of life do I have? Right now I have no quality of life because I can't sleep at night, so I go to work, I'm tired. My life was horrible for almost 3 years until I had the surgery. Once I had it, I did follow Dr. McCord's post-operative instructions to the letter. And I have to say, for the first 3 weeks, getting out of bed every day and having my mom and my husband walk me down to the mailbox every day, I'm going to say, was not the most pleasant thing. But I followed his instructions to the letter, did everything he said, started doing load-bearing exercises, everything, because I wanted it to be right. And I think I came back for a post-operative appointment to see Dr. McCord. It was maybe 3 months later. I was already pushing myself to do stretches. to see if I could get back to where I was. And it wasn't very long at all until I was already touching the ground with my hands. And I have great mobility. I can move in every direction. I'm also taking dance classes right now. I'm going to do my first competition in March. It's a beginner level entry, but I mean, there's some pretty tricky moves that are involved in Latino dancing and cha-cha and waltz and things like that, but I love it. I'm happier than I've ever been. My back never hurts. I mean, I cannot tell a person, unless you have been in my shoes, how much it's changed my life. Dr. McCord gave me back my life, because if I hadn't have had the surgery, if I would have sat still and said nothing and just did nothing and just let my fear dictate my life, I would be at home right now, probably on antidepressants, probably hugely overweight, probably, I don't know where I would be right now, but right now is the best time of my life. I feel like I had a start, a new beginning. And then when I was in the hospital, I remember the first time I woke up and Dr. McCord came in, and he came over and gave me a hug. I thought, I really like this guy. I really, really like this. I feel like he cares about me. I feel like he cares about my problem, and he's just a good guy. And he asked me how it was and explained what was going to happen, like the next day, because the surgery was a 3-step process. I was in the surgery the first time on my back, where they took some bone from my hip. And then the second day I laid on my back. And then the third day I was on my stomach, and then they did the back surgery from the back. So it was a 3-step process. But every single step of the way, he was there. He explained it. My husband and I felt comfortable. I just can't, and I tell so many people about Dr. McCord, and I say he was just a fabulous, fabulous person. I wouldn't want to go to anyone else. If ever again in my life that I ever had any problems with my back, I'd be right back here. And he's the best.